Good morning, mistress. I take it you're having breakfast in the office today. Well, seeing as how you went straight from your bedroom to the office again this morning, I assumed you'd eaten here. Mistress, if there's one thing I've learned in my years, it's that one should never work on an empty stomach. Please, even if it's just some toast with jam. The business is important, yes, but so is taking care of yourself. Thank you. Here you are, with your favorite tea, of course. I am glad to see you back at it. You have proven yourself quite talented at this, time and time again. I just hope that this restoration of things has not caused you to overcorrect. There is no need to work yourself to the bone. It's always all right to take some time for yourself. And if you wish, I will always be happy to catch you. How has the business been as of late? I see. I'm very glad to hear that. Though I am not totally surprised to hear that. Despite my best efforts, I did often find my attention drawn to business reports in the newspaper, following along with your progress. And, well, it seems that you are not the only DeLacy mentioned in there as of late. You do remember how we discussed your cousin Algernon before the whole debacle at the party, yes? Well, he's been having a meteoric rise of his own. It seems that he took whatever money his father left him and used it rather cunningly. Managed to attend a decent university and found himself under the wing of a railroad magnate. Now he sits on the company's board, leading quite an aggressive expansion. He's made a name for himself and a reputation to match. How to phrase this nicely? He finds himself a very eligible bachelor, but there's no sign of him settling down soon. Why do I bring this up now? Because a letter arrived in the post this morning from one Sir Algernon DeLacy. I did some research before I came up here. Turns out his mother's brother was a baronet, and Algernon here was the next man in line. It seems that we brushed him aside too quickly. He could end up being quite a threat. Or an ally. I suppose it all depends on the context of this letter. Of course, I can read it aloud. Dearest cousin, I hope this letter finds you well. I wished to reach out much sooner, but the timing was never right. You have clearly proven yourself as a shrewd businesswoman. He carries on with some more flattery and some self-congratulations, so on and so forth. Oh. Now that's quite the proposition. He says, with the summer just around the corner, I find myself longing to escape London for a while and take in the fresh air in the country. I do not wish to presume, but I have heard wonderful things about your beautiful estate and exemplary hosting skills. Additionally, given recent booms we have both experienced, I think it may be fruitful for the two of us to be introduced at long last. I would be honored to spend a holiday out there under your gracious care. I eagerly await your response. With love, Sir Algernon DeLacy, 4th Baronet of Hawkhurst. Quite the bold assumption from this man. I can't say that I've ever seen someone invite themselves to summer with anyone, much less with a relative they have never met before. I don't know what to make of this fellow. Truly, you wish to accept the invitation? Do you not worry that he could be looking to use you to further his own plan? We've dealt with men like this before. Yes, I suppose fortune does tend to favor the bold. A professional reunion of the branches of the de Lacy family could be incredibly beneficial to you both as well, primarily for your reputations. Setting aside your father's grudges to forge a path together, it will make quite the story. I will say, I have my doubts, but we will be playing with a firm home field advantage. Very well then. Join us, Algernon de Lacy. Let's do business, but we won't be playing any games. And I will be there if you need me, little miss. For anything. It is about time this Algernon fellow showed up. Arriving nearly 4 hours late does not tend to make a good impression. He did say this would be just for the summer, yes? Then I do wonder why he felt the need to bring along what looks like half the contents of his house, judging by all those trunks and boxes. We do have silverware, bedding, and all those things. I am simply saying, my lady, he seems to be making himself quite at home. I fear my instinct may have been correct about him and his motives. He's been here all of 15 minutes, and he's already barking orders like he owns the place. Speak of the devil. Here he comes.
Is this the lovely Mr. Lacy? It is truly wonderful to meet you in person. I'm honored to be in the presence of such a remarkable woman at long last. Oh, did I startle you? I'm so terribly sorry. I picked up that little greeting during my recent travels to Paris. They're so affectionate, those French. Oh, silly me. You must be the man in charge of the staff.
The name is Cardlin, and yes, Sir Algernon, I am the butler in this household.
Wonderful. I say, it looks like some of my footmen are struggling with some of my belongings. Would you mind terribly lending them a hand unloading the carriage?
I'm terribly sorry. Have the members of this household not been helping them as well?
They have been, though from what I have heard, they seem to be tied up delivering my belongings to my room. Besides, I believe Mr. Lacy and I have business matters to discuss.
Very well, if it will help them move things along more quickly.
It is nice to have a more private conversation with you, Mr. Lacy. I think we have much to discuss. And I did not want to wait for correspondence to travel between here and London. Much easier to do this face to face, as it were. So, first, let me thank you for your hospitality on such short notice, especially given recent circumstances in your personal life. I do not wish to rub salt into an open wound. Just know that I recognize all of the ups and downs that you have been so admirably dealing with recently. I would also like to make myself perfectly clear before I moved into your guest room. I am eager to have many conversations about our respective businesses and make up for any lost time, building a bond that our fathers refused to facilitate. But now, with my lucky rise to higher society, I happen to find myself in want of a wife. And if I may be so bold, I have heard that you are in need of a husband. Oh, no, my dear Mr. Lacy. I'm not asking at this very moment, and I would never force you to accept my hand. That would be absolutely barbaric. What I am saying is that you are in a delicate position, are you not? Surely people have largely moved on to the last piece of gossip, but that little story of yours does still linger on many minds and many tongues. Any cracks in the surface can be so easily exploited by those with any ill intentions. And what better way to smooth over those cracks than a union like ours? We would do so much more than strengthen the family name. That's the most beautiful part, you see. You still rely on third-party rail to connect your mines and factories, do you not? I do not know if the news has made it out to this adorable little place in the country, but I recently negotiated the largest buyout that my company has ever known. Now we have absolutely no issues taking things wherever you want them to go, from York to Cornwall and anywhere in between. Imagine never having to negotiate another rail contract again. Imagine that weight off your shoulders. We could do that. Together. We would make quite a powerful, handsome couple. Do you not agree? And if that is not enough, there is one last thing I can offer to sweeten the deal. That little look that you exchanged with your butler as he left did not escape my notice. Oh, my dear, do not mistake me. The heart wants what the heart wants. There's no fault in that. I know that very well myself. What a pity the world is not quite as understanding as it should be. Should my observations be correct, I would be happy to turn my head while you pursue your passions, so to speak. So long as there is an heir or two to inherit my fortune and title, I don't think there's much need to change your current dynamic. Oh, I do not expect you to make up your mind right now, but please do think about it. With me, there is no way you could possibly lose. My good man, about time you got back here. Do show me the way to the dining room. I'm positively starving.
Unfortunately, sir, your late arrival means that the luncheon that was prepared has gone cold, though the household staff does have afternoon tea ready in the parlor.
Very well, then. That will have to suffice. Do please keep our conversation in mind, my dear Mr. Lacey.
Well, he seems charming. Is my distaste that apparent? May I be frank, then? He seems like an absolute troglodyte who thinks the world revolves around him. Are you all right, my lady? You seem flushed. Please tell me that he hasn't done anything to make you regret your choice to host him. He proposed? Not yet. What did he say, then? We knew he'd likely have some kind of ulterior motive, but I couldn't have foreseen this. A vapid boy taking whatever he can get his hands on. My lady, please don't tell me you're actually considering this. I know this has been a delicate topic of discussion for some time now, but I don't think it's wise to accept the first man who asks for your hand. Of course I want the best for you. Yes, you should marry in the near future, reputation and all that. It has been quite a long time coming. I just wish that whoever does put a ring on your hand is a good choice for you. That it's not just for their own self-interest. Your husband should stoke that fire in you, not snuff it out. Of course, we can discuss this later in private. Right now, you should go be a good hostess and join Sir Algernon for tea. You know where to find me if you need me.